The massive starship shuddered, its hull scarred and bleeding atmosphere. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, watching the last remnants of human civilization drift through the cold vacuum of space. 12 hours ago, they had been a thriving colony of over 3 million. Now, barely 3,000 remained. The alien invasion had been swift and merciless. Massive crystalline vessels carved through Earth's defenses like paper, reducing cities to ash and entire continents to radioactive wastelands. No one understood why they attacked. No one had time to ask. Chae Kim, the ship's lead engineer, worked frantically at her console. Her fingers flew across holographic displays, running calculations that would determine their survival. Behind her, rows of survival pods contained the last hope of humanity: men, women, and children in deep cryosleep. "We have a problem," Hai said, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Our quantum shield prototype is unstable. One wrong calculation and will be visible to any scanner in the sector." Jay walked over, studying the complex mathematical projections. Years of military training and scientific background converged in this moment. They weren't just trying to survive. They were attempting to completely disappear. Commander Wu Li entered the bridge, his weathered face a map of recent battles. A long scar ran from his left temple to his jaw, a reminder of the last planetary defense where humanity had made its final stand. He carried a data crystal, the compressed knowledge of human civilization. "We have approximately 72 hours of fuel," Wu stated. "Our destination is a remote star system, 3 jumps away from known galactic charts. No one has mapped this region in centuries." The ship's main computer calculated their chances. Survival probability, 17.3%. Chance of remaining undetected, 22.6%, numbers that would crush most species' spirits. But humans had always been different. Hai's breakthrough came unexpectedly, a complex quantum algorithm that could bend light, radiation, and electromagnetic signatures around their ship. It wasn't perfect, but it was a chance, a small, desperate chance. "We'll look like nothing more than space debris," she explained. "Random background radiation, completely unremarkable." Outside the ship's reinforced windows, the vastness of space stretched endlessly. Billions of stars witnessed their desperate escape, silent and indifferent to humanity's potential extinction. Jay looked at his crew, exhausted, wounded, but unbroken. They represented every profession, every background. Scientists, soldiers, children, engineers. The genetic diversity needed to restart human civilization. The first quantum jump would be the most dangerous. One miscalculation would expose them to potential hunter ships still searching for survivors. Hai's hands trembled slightly as she input the final coordinates. "Ready," she whispered. The ship hummed. Space itself seemed to ripple and bend. For a moment, everything went silent. Then they vanished. No explosion, no dramatic farewell. Just a quiet disappearance into the cosmic darkness. What the alien hunters would never understand was human resilience. Not strength through violence, but adaptation. Survival through intelligence, creativity, and an unbreakable collective spirit. Their journey had begun. A journey to hide. A journey to survive. A journey to eventually return. The last fragments of human civilization drifted silently through an unknown sector, carrying with them the hope of an entire species. The planet was harsh and unforgiving. Rocky terrain stretched across desolate landscapes, with twin moons casting blue-silver light over jagged mountain ranges. This would be humanity's new home, a world they would transform from a lifeless rock into a sanctuary. Hai Kim stood at the entrance of their first underground complex, watching robotic construction units drill through solid stone. Survival wasn't just about finding shelter. It was about creating an ecosystem that could support human life with zero external resources. The first challenge was oxygen. Traditional terraforming would take centuries, but humans didn't have centuries. Using advanced genetic engineering techniques, they modified existing bacterial strains to rapidly produce breathable atmosphere. Small dome structures began sprouting across strategic locations, each one a fragile bubble of human existence. Commander. Wooly managed resource allocation. Every piece of technology from their surviving ship was carefully dismantled and repurposed. Spacecraft panels became solar collectors. Computer systems were integrated into underground communication networks. Nothing was wasted. Water extraction became their primary mission. Deep underground scanning revealed complex mineral formations that suggested potential water reservoirs. Specialized drilling units, controlled by advanced AI systems, began penetrating kilometers beneath the planet's surface. The first successful water extraction happened on the 47th day. A massive underground river, preserved in geological formations for millions of years, became their primary liquid resource. Purification systems, designed to work in extreme conditions, transformed the ancient water into a life-sustaining resource. Genetic adaptation programs began immediately. Young scientists worked on modifying human DNA to increase radiation resistance, improve metabolic efficiency, and enhance cellular regeneration. They weren't just surviving, they were evolving. J. Park oversaw the psychological reconstruction. Trauma management programs were implemented to help survivors process their species' near extinction. Community structures were designed to promote cooperation, mental health, and collective healing. Agricultural development happened in carefully controlled underground biodomes. Genetically modified crops that could grow in minimal light and extract nutrients from mineral-rich soil were developed. Protein synthesizers created nutritional supplements, ensuring balanced dietary needs. Energy production became a complex mathematical challenge. Solar, geothermal, and quantum-based energy systems were integrated into their developing infrastructure. Each energy unit was calculated and distributed with maximum efficiency. Communication remained their most critical defensive strategy. Quantum entanglement communication systems were developed, allowing instantaneous information transfer without detectable electromagnetic signals. They could communicate internally without revealing their location to potential external threats. Defensive technologies evolved rapidly. Stealth field generators could make entire underground complexes invisible to traditional scanning methods. Holographic projection systems could create false terrain signatures, making their actual settlement completely undetectable. 3 years after landing, their underground civilization housed over 2,500 humans. Interconnected complexes stretched across multiple geological layers, each level more sophisticated than the previous. They weren't just surviving, they were creating a new kind of human civilization. The most remarkable aspect of their reconstruction was speed and adaptability. Where other species might take decades, humans transformed their environment through relentless innovation and collective effort. Chai often reflected on their journey. They had lost everything: planets, families, entire cultural histories. Yet here they were, building something new from almost nothing. The human spirit wasn't about preservation, but constant reinvention. As the twin moons rose over their hidden world, another robotic construction unit began drilling. Another section of their new home was taking shape, silent and determined. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to transform challenges into opportunities. On this unnamed planet, in the vast darkness of space, that strength was being proven once again. The alien exploration vessel moved silently through the star system, its massive crystalline hull reflecting distant starlight. Captain Relo, a seasoned navigator from the Centauri Confederation, believed this would be another routine resource mapping mission. Sung Han watched through advanced monitoring systems, his fingers hovering above quantum interference controls. Every millisecond mattered. One mistake could expose their entire civilization. The alien ship's initial scanning wave swept across the planetary region. Sophisticated sensor arrays probed for mineral signatures, atmospheric compositions, and potential energy resources. Most worlds would show immediate responses: radiation signatures, electromagnetic waves, atmospheric disturbances. This world showed nothing. Hyun Choi, their lead technological strategist, had designed an intricate masking system. Their entire civilization existed within a quantum interference field so complex that it would appear as nothing more than random background radiation. 2. Any external scanner. The planet looked like a lifeless, unremarkable rock. But the alien vessel was persistent. Its second scanning wave used more invasive techniques, quantum resonance probes that could theoretically penetrate most concealment. Technologies. Sung's hands moved with precision, adjusting their defensive systems microsecond by microsecond. Inside the alien ship, Captain Relo grew frustrated. Something about this planetary system felt unusual. A microscopic energy signature had flickered, momentarily, so brief that his junior officers thought it might be a sensor glitch. "Run another comprehensive scan," Relo commanded. Humans had anticipated this moment. Their defensive protocols were designed not just to hide, but to actively misdirect. As the alien ship's scanners intensified, Sung triggered a series of quantum manipulation signals. Suddenly, the planet appeared to shift. Geological formations seemed to randomize. Mineral deposits appeared and disappeared. Temperature readings fluctuated wildly. To the alien sensors, the world became a chaotic, impossible environment. Yoon watched the alien ship's reaction. Their technology was reading something that couldn't scientifically exist. A planet simultaneously alive and dead, resource-rich and barren. Captain Relo made his decision. This anomalous world was too unpredictable. Resource extraction would be too risky. After 3 additional scans confirmed the world's bizarre characteristics, he logged it as unclassifiable and prepared to exit the star system. What the aliens never realized was that every single scan was carefully manipulated. Holographic projections, quantum interference, and advanced algorithmic misdirection created an environment that defied logical understanding. As the alien vessel departed, Sung allowed himself a slight smile. They had not just hidden, they had completely confused a technologically advanced civilization. The human settlement beneath the planet's surface continued its development, uninterrupted. Another potential threat had been neutralized through intelligence rather than direct confrontation. Humanity's survival strategy was becoming clear. Don't fight when you can confuse, don't reveal when you can hide, and never underestimate the power of technological innovation. Commander Wu Li reviewed the encounter's data. "Perfect execution," he told his team. "We remain invisible." The twin moons continued their silent orbit, witnesses to a hidden civilization's most crucial defensive moment. No signals were sent, no communications intercepted, just pure calculated survival. As the alien ship's quantum drive engaged for faster-than-light travel, the mysterious planet behind them remained exactly what it appeared to be. Nothing. Completely, utterly, nothing. The underground research complex hummed with silent energy. Rows of quantum computers processed information at speeds that would have been impossible just decades earlier. Humanity's technological evolution had entered a phase beyond traditional understanding. Dr. J. Kim stood before a holographic display, watching complex algorithms dance across 3-dimensional space. Their artificial intelligence system, nicknamed Genesis, had become something more than just a computer network. It was a living, adaptive intelligence that understood human survival at its core. Quantum entanglement communication was their first major breakthrough. Information could now be transmitted instantaneously across vast distances without any detectable signal. Traditional communication networks would look like primitive smoke signals compared to their technology. Weapons development followed a different philosophy. Humans weren't interested in destruction. They wanted complete strategic control. Their new defense systems could neutralize entire alien fleet formations without firing a single traditional weapon. Nanomolecular reconstruction technology allowed them to modify matter at its most fundamental level. A spaceship could be transformed from a weapon into a harmless cluster of molecules in milliseconds. No explosions, no dramatic battles, just silent, precise manipulation. The AI system began developing its own strategic models. It could predict potential galactic conflicts centuries in advance, creating complex intervention scenarios that would prevent threats before they could emerge. Humanity was becoming a silent guardian of galactic stability. Genetic modification reached unprecedented levels. Human bodies could now adapt to extreme environments. Radiation, temperature variations, and atmospheric differences became irrelevant. They were engineering a species capable of surviving anywhere. Energy production moved beyond traditional understanding. Quantum zero-point energy extraction meant they could generate unlimited power from what appeared to be empty space. Entire planetary systems could be powered by a device smaller than a human hand. Commander Sung Park reviewed the technological progression. What had started as a desperate survival mission was now transforming into something much larger. They weren't just hiding anymore. They were preparing to reshape galactic dynamics. The most interesting development was their approach to potential conflicts. Traditional warfare relied on direct confrontation. Humanity's new strategy involved complex manipulation, economic, technological, and informational interventions that could redirect entire civilizational trajectories. Genesis, their AI system, had developed what humans called predictive diplomacy. By understanding complex societal and technological patterns, it could suggest interventions that would prevent conflicts before they could begin. Biological adaptation reached new frontiers. Human DNA could now be rapidly modified to survive in environments that would kill traditional life forms. Radiation, extreme temperatures, low oxygen atmospheres, nothing was impossible anymore. Their technological development happened in complete silence. No external signals, no broadcasting. Just quiet, methodical progress hidden from any potential external observation. Quantum stealth technologies meant they could observe other civilizations without being detected. Entire research teams could study alien societies, understanding their technological, social, and cultural developments without leaving any trace of their presence. Dr. Yun Lee, leading the genetic modification team, realized they were no longer just surviving. They were engineering a new stage of human evolution. Not through conquest, but through adaptation and intelligence. The underground complex continued its silent work. Thousands of researchers, engineers, and scientists worked together, each understanding their role in humanity's greatest reconstruction project. Their technology was becoming their weapon, not a weapon of destruction, but a weapon of strategic control and potential galactic harmony. As another quantum computer completed its trillion calculation sequence, the humans continued their quiet revolution. They weren't just rebuilding. They were reimagining what it meant to be a spacefaring civilization. Survival had transformed into something much more profound, a calculated, intelligent approach to existence itself. 50 years after their hidden reconstruction, humanity prepared for its most critical moment. The Galactic Council, representing 12 major civilizations, would soon discover they were no longer alone in their understanding. Captain J. Park stood aboard the first quantum adaptive starship, its hull capable of changing molecular structure faster than any known technology. Around him, a selected team of diplomats, scientists, and strategic experts waited in calm silence. Their approach was calculated. They would not appear as conquerors or threats, but as unexpected partners with technological capabilities that would reshape existing power structures. The first transmission went out simultaneously to all major galactic communication networks. No traditional signals, instead a quantum-encrypted message that would bypass traditional communication barriers. The message was simple. Humanity existed, and they were offering a new model of cooperative existence. Initial reactions were predictably chaotic. Some alien civilizations believed it was an elaborate technological trick. Others saw it as a potential threat. A few recognized it as an unprecedented diplomatic opportunity. Genesis, their advanced AI system, had already predicted and prepared counter-strategies for 247 potential response scenarios. Each potential diplomatic challenge had been meticulously analyzed and prepared for. The human revelation wasn't about military might. It was about presenting a technological and social model that could potentially solve long-standing galactic conflicts. Their quantum communication technologies could bridge communication gaps between civilizations that had been isolated for centuries. Economic models showed that human intervention could potentially stabilize 3 major galactic conflict zones. Their technological solutions could resolve resource disputes, communication challenges, and territorial disagreements with unprecedented efficiency. Commander Sung Han managed the initial diplomatic responses. Humans would offer their technologies, not as weapons but as cooperative tools. Energy production methods, communication systems, conflict resolution algorithms, everything would be potentially shared. The most surprising element was humanity's approach. They weren't seeking dominance, but balance. Their technologies could level playing fields between technologically advanced and developing civilizations. Genetic modification research presented another revolutionary concept. Humans could help species adapt to changing environmental conditions, potentially solving planetary survival challenges for multiple civilizations. The quantum adaptive starship itself became a symbol. Its ability to transform, adapt, and respond made traditional warships look like ancient relics. No weapons were displayed, only potential. Diplomatic teams were carefully selected. Each representative understood that they weren't just representing humanity but presenting a new model of interstellar cooperation. Genesis calculated their chances of successful integration. 73.6% positive outcome probability. Those were remarkable odds in galactic diplomatic history. The first direct communications revealed humanity's true strength, not military power, but adaptive intelligence. They could solve problems that had existed for millennia across different civilizations. Resource-sharing protocols were their first major offering. Quantum energy extraction technologies that could transform entire planetary economies. Communication systems that could connect isolated civilizations. Within weeks, initial diplomatic discussions began. Humanity wasn't asking to join existing power structures. They were proposing an entirely new framework of cooperative existence. The Galactic Council was both impressed and cautious. A civilization that had survived near extinction was now offering solutions to long-standing challenges. It was unprecedented. As transmission signals spread across multiple star systems, humanity waited, not with anxiety, but with calculated confidence. They had survived the most difficult challenge. Now they would reshape galactic understanding. Their journey from near extinction to potential galactic partners was complete. Survival had transformed into something much larger, an opportunity to redefine collective existence.